Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. I'm back to making videos. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to play 3 different types of turnarounds. Now I'll explain what a turnaround is in just a second, but before I do that, why don't I go ahead and play them so you'll know what it is that we're going to be learning. So this first one sounds like this. The second one sounds like this. And the third one sounds like this. Alright, so let's break those down. Alright, so the reason it's called a turnaround is because you're really turning around to go back to the first bar. So in a traditional 12-bar blues, you've probably heard of 12-bar blues. As a quick refresher, if you don't know what that is, let me show you why it's called a 12-bar blues. So if I were to count this real quick, this is in the key of E. Which, by the way, this turnaround was in the key of E, and I'll show you how to do it in a different key in just a second. But 12-bar blues in the key of E counts like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you see you start all the way back to 1 again. So your ear probably tells you that what's going on there. That's what a 12-bar blues is. So the turnaround is what happens to get you from the 12 back to the 1, and it's just a series of licks. Now I'm showing you 3 different types. There's a million different ways you can do a turnaround. There's the 3 that I'm showing you are kind of common ones. At least the first 2 are. The other one is one I kind of made up from Eric Clapton and a couple of other folks. But the first one looks like this. Now what I'm doing there is, and you'll use this all the time once you learn it, but I'm taking my middle finger and my ring finger and I'm starting on the 2nd fret. And by the way, I'm on the 1st string and the 3rd string like that. You can see there. And I'm starting there and I'm sliding up, so it actually starts right there. Even though I position it there, that's so I can slide into place. And so what I'm doing is I'm sliding up, and I'm hitting the 3rd string there. And I'm going back and forth between the 3rd string and the 1st string. So you're skipping that 2nd string. Now the way I do it is I use my pick on this note on the 3rd string, and then I use my ring finger on the right hand here to hit the 1st string. So I'm going, and you're just walking that down. Now, there's different ways you can do it. You don't have to do that if that's too challenging. In the beginning, it might be easier just to use your pick. So it's a downstroke and an upstroke on the one string. So what's going on in the left hand there, like I said, you're starting on the 4th, you're sliding up to the 4th fret, you're starting on the 2nd, sliding to the 4th. And just keeping that shape, going down 1, going down 2. And then here you go. What I did there is I just hammered on the 1st fret 3rd string and hit that open E string there. And really what that is just the top part of the E chord. Then I do the B7th chord, which is the turnaround chord there. And the way I'm playing the B7th chord is I'm using my my middle finger on the 5th string 2nd fret. Then I'm on the 4th string 1st fret with my pointer finger, and then I take my ring finger, come in behind here on the 3rd string 2nd fret. So it makes a little shape like that. It's very similar to the D7th if you've learned that in 1st position up here. It's the same shape, it's just sort of shifted down a couple of strings. So and what I'm doing, I'm just playing the middle 4 strings. I'm not really hitting the top, the high E or the low E. You could put your pinky, in fact, if you wanted to complete a chord, but usually in a turnaround you don't have time to make a full chord. And so what I'm doing, I'm just hitting those 3, really those 3 notes, not even the 4. I'm sorry, those 3 strings. So that's the first turnaround. use it all the time. Now, the second one I did is very similar to that. It's a different variation though. So again, I'm starting at the second fret, I'm sliding up, but this time you'll notice I'm using a different pattern. And what the pattern looks like is I'm taking my pointer finger and I'm sliding from the second fret up to the fourth fret on the third string. And then I'm taking my middle finger and I'm actually going up to the fifth fret with that finger and hitting the fifth string. So you get that sound. Same principle with the right hand. You could pick them apart or do what I'm doing and just use your ring finger. It's a little faster to do it that way. But basically you take that shape, walk it down again, and then you walk it all the way to the first fret. So you just literally walk that shape all the way down, which is kind of nice. You're not having to switch anything like you did on the first one, where you had to switch in the last note. And then I went. Now what I did there is I walked up right into that B7th chord again. I'm just walking into the chord, so that's the A string, the open fifth string. Then I'm on the first fret, fifth string. Then I'm on the second fret, fifth string. And then if you do that, if you land there with your middle finger, you're right in position to just put those two fingers down and hit that chord. So the whole thing sounds like this. And you could do all kinds of variations. You could slow it down, speed it up. You don't have to do that piece if you don't want to. So there's those two. Now the third one is one that, like I said, I kind of made it up. Some of it's made up, some of it's some stuff I borrowed from, I guess, Eric Clapton, but this one sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is I'm hammering on. The first three notes sound like this. So I'm starting on the second string. It's an open second string, the B string. Then I'm hammering on with my middle finger to the second fret, second string. And then I'm hitting the open E string, the first string. So start with that. That's your first three notes. Now what I do is I slide into this fourth fret on the first string and I go. So it's a pretty big slide if you're not used to sliding. Now in the beginning, if you're doing this, it may not be very accurate. You may find yourself going past it or not far enough, but those are your first four notes. And it's actually pretty easy after that. Because after you do that slide, you just play the open E and the open B, first and second string. So all right, so there's your first set of notes. And then you come down with the middle finger to the second fret, third string, and just play that note. But then you're playing the other two notes you follow up are the B string and the E string, but they're just open. So that's the only one you're fretting, is that second fret, third string. The other two are open. So and then you close it with, that's an open G string, or the third string. Then you're fretting on the first fret there, third string. And then hitting, kind of closing it off with that high E string. Just open. So let me do the whole thing slowly for you. And then I kind of ended, the follow-up to that is the B7th chord. Applied a little bit of vibrato by shaking my hand a little bit. So here it is again slowly. I'll let you watch the right hand. here's the left hand. And there you have it. So those are your 3 turnarounds that I'm showing in this lesson. Now, the question you may have is, okay, so that works great if we're playing blues in the key of E. What if we're playing it in the key of G? You know, your different key. Well, all you're going to do, depending on which key you're in, now I actually have an advanced lesson that's coming out that goes into a lot more detail on, you know, how you play, how you change different keys, and I'm trying to show how you can do that by ear. But what I'm going to do here is show, if you're in the key of E, think of your root chord. So your root chord is that E. I like to think of it this way. If I'm making a bar chord, this is what your E would look like. Now, you don't have to make the bar because the nut's doing that for you, right? But if you were to slide up to the G position, that's a G bar chord, then everything that you just learned shifts up 3 frets. So those turnarounds, you can see you can still play them, you're just playing them up 3 frets. So if you were in the key of G, that's how you do it. Now notice I was kind of having to bar that because, you know, my finger's replacing what the nut is. But anyway, that's how you would transpose it. You could do it in the key of A. So there you go. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that's something that'll be useful.